Crypto. How's everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing well. Jake Sharp is back from the dead. As we approach day 280 of Titan X, will we giga pump or giga dump? I'm Ali Kane, host of the Weekly Blaze and co-founder of Blaze 3 Labs, where we build awesome, fully decentralized crypto protocols, and we bring you all the alpha from the wider crypto community and the Titan X and Blaze projects. Today, we have a very special guest, Jake Sharp, the creator and founder of Titan X. He's been on the missing list from streams for the last 6 months, and today we're going to chat about what he's been doing for the last while, what he's been building, what we at Blaze have been building, and what's going on within the Titan X and Blaze ecosystem. So really exciting stream. Long time coming. Jake Sharp, welcome back to the live spaces. How are you doing, sir?
It's been 6 months. I've been turbo hammering Twitter with streams. It's been 6 months. Tweets, million a day. With streams, 6 months.
So how have you been?
Pretty good. Just been building, watching charts, crypto, and sauna, and nicotine. That's been it.
It's kind of awesome. You know, I jumped into your mastermind. It's actually over 2 years ago, man. I was one of the first members in there. We've known each other for quite a long time now, and we've been on quite a ride together all this time. It's had its ups and downs. You know, I've agreed with a lot of things you've done. I've disagreed with a lot of things you've done, but it's been an exciting 2 years, and I think we're in a great position now at the minute. And it's wonderful that we started this weekly Blaze and we've finally got you on, you know, as you're coming back on the live streaming, talking about your protocol. So yeah, thanks for coming on the show. And everybody, if you're new to the show, please like and subscribe. We're going to be covering a lot of items and content all the way through the bull run. So yeah, we need your help. Like, subscribe, share, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Jake, what's going on? Where have you been? What have you been doing?
So we personally been building two things in the background. For Titan X, we needed this period of time before day 280 to get the non-believers out. So me not streaming is a way to get the people out that need to get their hand held. You know, he doesn't stream, so I'm gonna dump. You're gonna dump anyway. Just get the fuck out, get it over with. And then on day 280, that's when the real fun starts for the ecosystem. Because the first phase of Titan X was always supply distribution. Get it into as many hands as possible, grow the community as big as possible, get builders in, because growing the community also grows the number of builders, because a percentage of the people entering the community are going to be builders by definition, because a percentage of the population are software engineers or entrepreneurs that want to build something. So growing the community, getting it in the hands of people was always goal number one for Titan X. So now we've achieved that. We were top 10 on Ethereum for 4 to 5 months straight, which is absolutely bonkers. I've never seen a protocol ever do that. Like Titan X, I think, was first of its kind to do that. Because usually something launches, they're like top 10 for a good 12 hours, and then they just die off and nobody remembers them. Titan X was top 10 for 4 or 5 months straight. We have 13,000 users, 12,500 holders. We have almost a dozen builders. There's like 3 to 5 projects. There's like 3 to 5 projects that I know that are building that are not on titanxhub.com because they haven't publicized anything. And then also, obviously, you have the stuff on titanxhub.com, and you have our stuff coming out, which is going to be 2 things. So all in all, plan seems to be working out perfectly.
Yeah. First of all, on that, are you going to divulge any details on what you're building, or is that you just going to kind of give a little bit of keep everybody enticed as to what's coming? Sorry, before we continue as well, we've got Steve DeFi on the show. Bring up Steve DeFi. You know, he put a lot of input in the weekly conversations built in Titan X. So yeah, welcome to the stream, Steve.
Yep.
He's muted himself.
Perfect. So now he's just smiling.
Yeah, whenever he fixes his audio. So day 280 is so far are things playing out. It's supposed to can't.
Okay, I'm muted. Yeah, that's it. Great to be here. Great to see you guys. Great to be here. Got that.
Welcome, Steve. Right. Welcome. So day 2, obviously the launch was completely, it was a complete success. The launch of the project, you know, mind-blowingly the performance, but we could never know what's going to come next. You know, is day 280, is it playing out the way you originally thought? Or what's your thoughts on the way things are looking for day 280 at the minute?
It's looking perfect. It's gone exactly how I thought it would go. Because it just makes sense. You inflate the supply, obviously demand cannot keep up until a certain point where demand keeps up with supply, which is where we're at now. Titanx had a period of 30 days where it was deflationary 17 out of the 30 days during its most hyperinflationary period. So you've slowly seen the shift. At first, it was 100% inflationary. There were no deflationary days. It was all just supply hitting the market because people were mining it and everybody has equal cost base, equal opportunity. They just have to put the time and the Ethereum in. And then slowly but surely, the number of deflationary days is starting to tick up. Then we have day 280, which is the most hyperinflationary period that Titanx will ever have, ever. Even if we get the highest number of adoption ever in the future, mining has gotten almost 10x more expensive. It costs more in terms of dollar value of Ethereum, and you get less and less Titanx. So once we hit that threshold where we become profitable again to mine, people just get so much less that all of these protocols and the buy and burns can just keep up with it, and you can still outpace inflation and be deflationary even when the miners are still coming out. Now, when we hit that threshold, that's going to be interesting to see, but we'll definitely hit it. Like, it's pretty no-brainer if you do a little bit of simple math on the buy and burns and all of the things that we have building around the ecosystem. But then the flywheel will kick off again, and people get less supply, they pay more. It still all feeds all the protocols. As Titanx gets hyper-deflationary, everything on top of it starts having the price performance that Titanx has. Like, for example, Hyper did a 10x in 3 months. And in that same time period, I think Titanx did a 40%. And in the last 14 days, Titanx did 81% because it had like up, down, up. Hyper outperformed Titanx because it's paired to it. So whatever price performance Titanx has, Hyper has. And then includes projects like DragonX, for example. Like DragonX went up 111%, while Titanx only went up 81%. And nobody's talking about DragonX or buying or selling it. It just gets the price performance by default because it's linked to it in the LP. And we can go more in depth than that, but like the whole LP linking is the key to this entire ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, all of us here in the ecosystem can kind of see the sentiment is changing. Obviously, you know, you were a big one for time and analysis. Time, you know, a time whenever in the mastermind, we're always chatting about time and the time and the market cycles. Do you still see that playing out as you used to speak about all the time?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, now the fun starts. Yeah, now the fun starts, especially around, because you're going to get 2 big alt cycles per bull market. Bitcoin had a period where it was above all-time high. Now it's below again. It's kind of just following the cycle timing again. Well, I think it's on the 23rd of July. We get almost 10 Ethereum ETFs launching. The Bitcoin ETFs are live. And around end of August, we should go into the next alt cycle, or the first real alt cycle of this bull run. So everything's lining up perfectly, and that's after day 280.
That real old original choice you made, the launch on Ethereum, was definitely the correct choice. Even you know, we'll get into it, but even as you know, within Blaze, with seeing the Ethereum pools build up, you just know that's solid cash sitting there, you know.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
So yeah, day 280 is not far away. It came along a hell of a lot quicker than anybody than I really expected. You know, it's hard to believe that it's here so fast. What do you see happening before day? What do you? It's hard to pick, but what do you see happening before day 280? There's so many things going on within the ecosystem. I can already see people are chatting about, you know, built in their bag of DragonX, built in their bag of Blaze, built in their bag of Inferno. You know, I'm even now myself looking at ban more Titanx, and I didn't think I'd be in that position. But it's just there's so much happening, and it's like, what on earth do you do before day 280?
I mean, there's a lot going on, right? I remember saying this
obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Not financial advice. We're looking at if this works, etc., etc. So with day 280, everybody was so incredibly doomish and bearish, where the market pumped beforehand, and this almost always happens. Where if everybody agrees on something, the exact opposite usually happens. Because when you put day 280 into perspective, I posted a tweet on Twitter. It's like day 280 is only 9.7% of the supply coming out. And this was just a rough estimate. I think it's even lower than that. I think it's 9.3%, but that's when I did the calculations. That's only 9.7% of the supply, yet everybody thinks it's going to nuke to zero for some reason. It's only 9.7%, and it's only a day. It's totally fine.
I saw you share that stat. I saw it, and I couldn't believe it was so small. The 10% in crypto is literally nothing. It's nothing.
You get these 10% all the time, especially with these like low float, high FDV tokens, where the founders get the tokens unlocked and they dump it all on market. The difference is there's no founder unlock here. That's all community members, and especially the community members that have been active in Titanx, have been participating in the protocols, that have been active on social media. They've waited 280 days. Like, you have to be a certain type of like lettuce hand, weak hand person to be like, oh, I waited 280 days. Let me just dump it and get it over with before the party even starts. Like, we got the tables ready, we got the drinks ready, we got the snacks on the table, and you're like, okay, the party is about to start, and you leave the door. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So I don't think it's going to be that bad at all, because everybody has these doom scenarios because they assume all of the supply that's going to hit the market just dumps. But that's not going to happen. So maybe instead of 9.7% hitting the market, it's only 2%. And then you can totally pump through it. Now, if we're going to pump through it, I don't know, it's still a supply shock, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I bought more Titanx just to buy more Blaze myself, but it's not something. It's, whenever I was planning, obviously Blaze wasn't in the pipeline, even a couple of months ago. But I never saw myself then a couple of months ago in a position where I'd be buying market buying, even though I've got miners, that I'd be market buying Titanx to put into other protocols. So yeah, I mean, that's a really interesting one. I'm not sure who it was said it, but somebody did on a stream a while ago say that, what if, like you're saying, everybody just expects it to 280 to dump, and the dump just might never happen. And I don't know, it's kind of I'm kind of hoping that might be the case. There's so, it's got so much potential. There's so much price potential for absolute pumpage that I couldn't see myself if I was any miners I'm getting now. They're certainly not getting sold. What do you want to do? Get it, dump it, and watch everybody else make a shit ton of money.
Right? Yeah, because that's been the biggest like cloud over Titanx is like day 280. And if you listen to the YouTube videos, it's day 280. It's all gonna fucking go to zero, and it's all gonna disappear. And Titanx is gonna disappear. Like, it's after I started, because I kind of understood this. Which is, I think I was saying, I'm not sure where I was saying, but I was talking to somebody and I was like, Titanx is probably going to bump before day 280 because the market usually does the opposite. And it did. It's not me doing it. So that is just kind of how markets work. So after day 280, what's the FUD event for Titanx? All you have is an asset that's about to go hyperdeflationary that has more buy pressure than the entire market cap of the thing, which you can find nowhere. Absolutely nowhere, where you have guaranteed buy pressure that's bigger than the entire project combined. And yeah, builders, like I like kind of explaining Titanx as the L1 within the L1, instead of having your own chain and going and building this whole like islands disconnected from everything. You build it inside of Ethereum, we link everything to one token. As that one token goes up, all the tokens go up with it, similar to everything linked to Ethereum. But it's like a levered asset in the middle, because Ethereum went up 20%, Titanx went up 80%, while it's inflationary. So what will happen when it's hyperdeflationary? And that price performance translates over into everything by default, because it's paired within the liquidity. And you have a bunch of builders. Like for other L1s, they need to get $500 million in venture funding to maybe get 7 builders on their chain, and they basically have to bribe them. And once they bribe them, they get the money, they go build on some other chains, and they just leave the chain for that. We've gotten them for free because we're a completely decentralized community. There's no foundation paid for everything. It's code on the chain. It's a grassroots community. I build, we build. I'm just a builder, and this is just completely unheard of. So
yeah,
it's gone way better than I could have expected.
Yeah. I mean, I was skeptical at the very start, how well it would do, and I was blown away by how it went. We as a team of builders for Titanx as well, we did have our conversations as well. Whenever you disappeared, when the market was going down, you've got to have these conversations. And we were going, geez, are we doing the right thing? Are we doing the right thing building here? Or should we just fuck off, leave Jake to it, and we'll do our own thing? And I'm glad we made the decision to stick around. Obviously, we've been invested in the project long before it began or launched. And I'm really glad that we all agreed, made the decision to stick along, stick with the ecosystem. and contribute as much as we can as well. The L1 within the L1 is a great narrative, you know, and there's a lot of good builders and the community. I know you've been a little bit silent. I see you sneakily watching all the streams and listening in. I know, sneaking about in the background, but yeah, the community's having a great time on Spaces, on these weekly streams. We are all having a great time. We're all building hard. There's a lot of engagement, and it's great that you're back now because you know there's a lot of extra eyeballs come just to see and hear what you're saying. So yeah, the ecosystem within the ecosystem is absolutely thriving, and we've got a lot of stuff to come as well. So did you see, you know, you did throw that narrative out at the very start, build on Titan X. Did you think you'd get as much adoption, or you know, you didn't think you'd get as much adoption because it went so crazy at the start, but with the building, are you pleased to see the way things are going with the builders within the ecosystem?
I mean, that was a surprise. Like I like statistics, so I was looking into, okay, out of 10,000 people that join something, what percentage of those people are software engineers? That's like a relatively small percentage. So I assumed, okay, out of those people that are engineers or are some kind of builder or entrepreneur focus, like what percentage of the population is that? And it's over-indexed in crypto, because if you're in crypto, you're probably one of those twos at a higher percentage than just general population. So I had an idea some builders were going to come in, but I didn't know. Like at first, all of the functions inside of Titan X that allow it to be built upon were built for me. I just wanted to build stuff on it. And I was like, maybe somebody will use it. But now it's gone insane. Like I could have never expected this. And I think it's because we were top 10 for so long. We have a relatively big community. It's very rare that you get this many faces, even on a live stream, for any crypto project. So I think there's a high level of trust in this community. I think another thing that helped is because I'm a developer, I'm a builder. So I think builders resonate more because like he's one of us. And I can talk software engineering because like all the dApps and stuff I built. I can code Solidity. Like I'm writing one of the things that we're gonna be releasing. So I think it's this like unique combination that you will never get.
You
so
see,
I never expected.
I'm here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm here as a builder, and I just come on here and chat shit to everybody. I let Steve, and all the guys look after all the awesome stuff goes behind the scenes. So sorry, no, I cut you off there. What were you going to say about the builders?
Yeah, I just never expected this many builders to show up. Like maybe one or two, maybe like one person from the mastermind, because like we have basically a year and a half of just trust built at this point. But no, it's insane. I think by the end of the board run, we might have like 20 projects live, which is protocols. Like we ran we're calling them protocols now.
Yeah, with the fact of the bull run, you know, another year, we've got so much experience now, just with auditors, with good devs, with marketing, everything that, you know, there's going to be a lot more exciting things happen. You know yourself throughout the course of the bull run, you know, people come piling in. Let's build this. Let's make things happen. Steve, sorry. How are you feeling as a builder? How are you feeling as a builder within the Titan X ecosystem?
Yeah, I'm just with the Titan X. Like, I never expected the price to be pumping right now. I never thought it would be, because I'm planning to buy day 280 and maybe 281. I want to get a good price because it's a no-brainer for me. You know, I'm pretty conservative, like in crypto in a way, but it could be a great buy if, like I said, with the value and just that value there is going to encourage people to come in. It's a very exciting time in Titan X. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the ratio, it's kind of crazy. So there's a bunch of places where there's buy pressure. Obviously, you have buy and burn V2 on Titan X. You have buy and burn V1. You have Dragon X, which gets like over $3.4 million from the 369 payout. All of that buys Titan X, and half of that buys and burns Dragon X. But that 3.5 million goes into Titan X. You have Helios that also does a form of buy and burn, because it has to buy Titan X first to buy and burn Helios. And then you have Hyper, and Hyper is just it's a moving target because mining is profitable again, so people are mining, and all of that Ethereum buys Titan X and then buys Hyper, so it's this double buy effect. So we have so many like secondary buys and burns that you don't see on the UI and that you only really know.
Yeah, I know. Blaze, we bought nearly $1 million. We'll be approaching the $1 million mark soon. We'll have bought $1 million of Titan X off the market with our Ethereum very, very soon.
When Blaze launched, you saw the Titan X price. I'm not saying it was Blaze, but it started to go up after that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember because he had like this wick up, and then some bots sold. Then we went down for a little bit, and now we're way higher than that. Yeah, I remember that because I was looking at the chart very closely. That was cool to see. And even Blaze, I think Blaze bought 30K on the market with the Ethereum to then make the liquidity pool.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So look, it really was one of the most successful projects of 2023 that launched. It was phenomenal the way it went. After Dragon X launched and the Ethereum divs did dry up. And the sentiment did change. There's a little bit of a change in sentiment. Did that play out the way you thought? And what's your thoughts on how that all sits at the minute? I know you said Dragon X has got a lot of buy pressure; its price could pump as well. So, what's your thoughts on the way that all played out?
So that one was actually kind of interesting because the initial assumption I had designing in the Ethereum staking payouts is my guess was a very large percentage of people would take their Ethereum staking payout to start more miners. But then when you looked at the actual on-chain data, what usually happened is people would take the Ethereum and buy some other stuff with it, which makes it exit the ecosystem. So I was very happy because I wasn't talking to Eric and Dragon X, like they just came out of nowhere. And that's the cool thing about wait, somebody's mic's echoing. Okay, I think it's fixed. With Dragon X, it filled a leak where the Ethereum now has to buy Titan X on market and has to stake in a case there's like infinite flywheel, especially once mining kickstarts again. You have this incredibly powerful flywheel, and now all of the Ethereum staking payouts, even when mining kickstarts again, now essentially turn into buy pressure for Titan X. So then we have this hardcore narrative change where Titan X is now the hardcore deflationary store of value within the ecosystem, and then the staking is Blaze, for example, and you have the hyper deflationary asset, which is Dragon X. When the mining returns, and you have this compounding thing with hyper, and then you will have the omni-chain with X28, where Titan X is just a store of value, the lever asset that creates all the price performance for all the things on top of it, and then you have all these other projects that fill in the gaps that were created. Like Blaze kind of came as a result of Dragon X coming in, so these are very extremely adaptable systems, and that kind of happens when it's decentralized. Because if somebody has to come to somebody to ask for permission, then it's like, fuck you, that's not crypto. So people can build whatever they want, and then the market decides.
Exactly. We see an opportunity with the Blaze team. We see an opportunity. We discussed many formats, many things many ways to build a protocol. And just like you, when you were doing Titan X and all the decisions, and you look at all the different things. But yes, we saw opportunities to do that. We've seen more opportunities to do what we're doing with Inferno, and obviously everybody that's building is doing the exact same thing. Okay. We'll get into a bit more detail as well about day 280. But quick one, people have called you a scammer, people have called you a rug puller, and all that kind of stuff. What do you that Titan X isn't first principles, all that kind of stuff. What do you say? What's your answer to those guys? The weak hands, the non-believers, and the Titan X ecosystem.
I mean, there's a bunch of counter arguments. Is the first principle stuff, how has that been performing? I mean, there's a very common theme. Obviously, you make something as decentralized as it can possibly be, and as safe as it can possibly be. Titan X was triple audited, Hyper was double audited, used a lot of the Titan X code, so it's almost like 5 times audited. If you look at it like that, there was only a few things out of the code that we tweaked. Titan X is first principles. Like, for example, if you look at the buy and burn, there was this huge FUD going on. I'm like, oh, Jake can just take the Ethereum in the buy and burn. And these fucking retards can't even read code.
They're talking about the DB7 in the chat there.
Oh yeah, also yeah. Anybody that knows where the Aston Martin is, I would love to go pick it up because I don't remember buying one. I would like to have an Aston Martin. They're cool. But coming back to the whole first principles thing, Titan X is very, very first principles. The only thing that is not first principles is the global cap on the V1. Everything else is. And also, if you look at the code in the buy and burns, there is 000 functions for any withdrawal of the Ethereum ever. And I did that on purpose because any human being that sees $20 million sitting somewhere, at least 1% of the brain is like, oh, what if I just take it? And I'm like, I don't want that temptation. Just take it out of the code, no withdrawal function, it's locked, and the only function I can ever do is buy and burn. So smart contract security is also protecting it against you. Not just hackers on the outside, it's also protecting it from people on the inside. Because maybe you have a multi-sig and 2 out of 4 people are like, hey, what if we just rug this thing? They do it, and then if there's a withdrawal function, they call it. You also want to protect it against your own team. And we've seen that when build on Titan X projects. Yeah. What was the second thing you mentioned?
That's it. Just about what do you say to the people that call you scammers and all, scammer and a rug puller, and that's it really. The first principles thing. I agree with the first principles. There's so far you can go. We again, for us, we wanted to build Blaze. We learned again from you, and even with the backlash in the community and the control of the buy and burn, it has its pluses and it has its negatives. The negatives, in a way, it's the fact that it's there still is a very, very powerful thing. Very, very powerful. And the fact that we're going up to day 280 and not all those funds are there. So, that's a great thing. But that was another opportunity that we seen to build something completely decentralized. And that's the way we wanted to go. The good thing about the decentralization is it takes the pressure off us for making decisions. We've got to participate like everybody else. You don't need to continually make decisions as to, right, how do I need to run this? Is this a good move? Is that a good move? You have that much control, and this is on you too. You have that much. You've got some control. You've got to do it. You got to make the right moves at the right time. I believe you will, obviously, but for me, we don't have that pressure, and that's I kind of like that, and that's one of the best things for us about building something fully decentralized. Is you just take all that off yourself. The system runs, but we participate just like everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze is very well protected because it has an auction system. But with something like TitanX, you need ammo for after day 280. Because imagine this: people love to complain about the scenario, but they don't think about the other scenario. The other scenario is all of the buy and burns are empty. Day 120, and then you just have 160 days of dump with no chance of recovering. All the builders would be gone. The community would be gone. There would be no future. This was planned since the start. You needed ammo for day 280, and we found a way to decentralize it through the Vortex, which we built into Hyper. That was the solution to that. That was an idea I didn't have with TitanX, which would have been a great idea. That would have solved that in a fully decentralized way. So Hyper does that. But yeah, so we needed something for after day 280, and that was the only way to do it, basically. And that was always the design. And then the end design for TitanX is to make it so that all the protocols built on top of TitanX completely surpass the buy and burns. So if they ever run empty, well, then you still have the protocols burning. And we want it to be like maybe 20% of the burn is the buy and burn, and then 80% is protocols. And then if the buy and burn runs out, who cares? Like, who cares? The thing is the protocols that to build on TitanX, and then it can thrive and survive and grow on its own.
Yeah,
so it's always been a short-term solution.
Yeah, our Blaze buy and burn ran out after 4 hours, and the Blaze is still performing mighty fine. 4 hours.
No. You're not going to do that comparison between auctions and mining. It's completely different supply mechanics.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so Hyper, there was a bit of controversy around Hyper whenever you launched it. Was it a failure? All that kind of stuff. What's your opinion on how Hyper has performed so far? The fact it's run a 10x off the low is kind of crazy. I know it's it's not the low. The low's even more than 10x, isn't it? But what's your thoughts on how Hyper has performed, and is it a speeded up version of TitanX?
I mean, this is kind of interesting. I've seen this narrative form around like what happened to Hyper is going to happen to TitanX, because it's essentially a faster version of it. Now, Hyper doesn't deflate as fast. Like the Ethereum that costs to start a miner doesn't go up, and the amount of supply you get per miner goes down way slower than TitanX. So it's always been designed to be the compounding vehicle within the ecosystem, which creates a flywheel because it burns TitanX while doing it. So that Hyper was always designed to be the compounding thing, and TitanX is the store of value. So yes, I did expect Hyper to go down at the start, and then the Vortex pick back up. That's why the Vortex was programmed in. Because in the beginning, when something launches, especially if you fair launch something, you give everybody a fair amount of supply, which includes extreme cheaters and people that don't believe and are just extreme value extractors, and they don't continue on using the system. So it's like, get people in, grow the system, grow the community around it, and then you have the Vortex for the real believers. And then at that point, it becomes the compounding system. So if you see me disappear off of Twitter and not talk about something for a while, I'm usually doing it on purpose because I'm on Twitter 24/7, basically at this point. So usually everything is deliberate. Like I had a period in TitanX where I was barely tweeting, like I had 2 days without tweeting, etc., etc. That was all on purpose. Because at some point you need to get the non-believers out, and they're looking for any reason to exit. So just me not being there for 24 hours is enough for them to exit, and that's it. So you're gonna have to play these games. Because if you're relying on me, you're not in crypto. Like if you're relying on a founder to tweet something, you're not in crypto. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but that's not crypto. You're there for the community. Like I'm one of 13,000 people. You shouldn't rely on one person. You should rely on the 12,999.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us we met each other in the mastermind, and even people within our within Titan. A lot of people have come from Hex, from Pulse Chain, from Zen. So we've all spent too much time in the past relying on other founders, and that's why we have Blaze. Fuck that. Fuck sitting around waiting on other people to do shit for you. In this ecosystem, we can get up and do it all ourselves.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, and there's a whole plan. So in the beginning, for Titan X, hyperinflationary to hyperdeflationary, that was not just talking about the buy and burn. Like the thing that we're going to be releasing is exactly that, and it needs to be timed wrong. So yeah, it's not just the hyperdeflationary doesn't come from the buy and burn. That will come from something else.
Is this a new project that you haven't named yet? Or is this the one?
Well, it has to do with Omnichain. So it is
Yeah.
X28. X28 might be renamed because there is some issues with numbers and names. But we're going to announce that we need the domain names and stuff. But yeah, if you want, we can jump into that. Unless you guys have something else you want to talk about first.
No, go ahead. I mean, you're far away. Tell us what you're thinking.
Okay, I'm not going to give everything. But essentially, what's already known about X28 is it takes TitanX Omnichain. You will need TitanX to create it. It's going to be an auction system. And it will make TitanX hyperdeflationary. Now, X28, we're going to call it X28 now, which is basically the placeholder name for whatever it's going to be called because of the indexing issue. It's going to exist on 8 chains at the start. So it's going to be Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, possibly Solana. We still have to run through some contract tests. Blast. Let me actually pull up all the chain. It's going to be all the high volume chains at the start, and then we can expand out to other chains. But it's going to be Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, Blast, Pulse Chain with the ERC20 bridge, because they don't have layer 0 support, because X28 is going to be built on top of layer 0. Well, it is built. It's basically ready. And then we can go on all the other chains, all the layer 0 supported chains. And then you create this ecosystem because it's going to have functions that allow people to build on top of it. And then you're going to have build it in all the ecosystems. So if you need some kind of low fee, high transaction thing, you build it on the Solana version and use Rust or whatever Solana uses. So X28 is going to exist everywhere. And that's going to be very interesting because it's also the thing that makes TitanX hyperdeflationary. And it has extremely interesting mechanics.
Why should
you need? Go ahead, Steve. Sorry.
I just wanted to ask, why should I give up my precious Titan X for X28? What's the selling point in like a quick thing? So I'm persuaded to part. What's the
auction system? So the auction system is the key, because in an auction system, you force people to participate. Because let's say, for example, there's 100,000 coins, $100,000 worth of X28 up for auction that day. If only $10,000 enters, well, you have a free 10x sitting there if you just enter. So these auction systems force people to enter because the deal is too good. So it's essentially, that's the reason people are gonna do it. And even if it's just one person participating, it still works because the coins come into existence and people can still buy them on all the chains because it's still in existence. It's just one person entering the auction. But the auction forces people to enter because it's too good of a deal. Like if you can buy for 50% below market, hell yeah, you'll do it. And then there's obviously protections that we built in so that if there is an auction day that doesn't have, like for example, $100,000 worth of coins up for auction, only $20,000 entered, that's a free 5x. I think that's 400% ROI. Yeah, 400% ROI, I think, because that's a 5x. Those people enter, and then there's protections built into the system where there is something else buying up X28 again off market, and is doing that through the TitanX pair. And then the mechanics are really fucking good.
Somebody asking the question.
Do I want to share it yet?
That's it. That question catch your eye. Will X28 use Liquid, Titan, and Stake? To see some people in the comments as well. Shrey's asking, is Shogun now X28? I don't know whether you're ready to divulge. Yes, it is. Okay, that's one thing.
Yeah, Shogun is X28. Well, it's not X28. It's built into X28. So you'll be able to use liquid TitanX, stake TitanX, or miners. Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
So you'll be able to enter the auctions with miners as well on top of stake.
How does the arbitrage work? Like if, like you said, if example 100K a day, where's that 100K coming from? That value of 100K for the arbitrage to take place?
It's whatever is up for auction. So if it's 100,000 coins and every coin is worth $1, that's $100,000 worth of coins up for auction, and that amount is going to go down fast. It's going to go down fast. It's going to deflate fast. It has buy and burn built into it, and all the proof of burn functions, all the building functions, etc. They're all in there, and that's basically ushering in the renaissance of TitanX. It's gonna make TitanX hyper deflationary.
Oh no, hold up. Is this coded and shit? Is this ready to go? You can use liquid TitanX, stake TitanX, and miners.
Correct. Yep. It works.
Oh, that is real alpha. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, what?
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah. And all the TitanX gets burned. So whatever liquid, stake, or miners go in, that's 100% burn. And there's some other mechanics around it.
Oh, I see. 100% burn. How's the liquidity pool formed?
So
let's say Pulse Chain. Let's say you want it on Pulse Chain.
No. So the liquidity, that will probably be a manual process. So either community can do it or some big whale can do it.
Yeah.
On Ethereum, it's going to be the TitanX X28 placeholder name. So TitanX X28 on Ethereum. And then on all the other chains, it's going to be native coin X28. Now, the interesting thing is, if, for example, you get a super big spike on Binance Smart Chain, for example, or on Blast or on Optimism, because the X28 comes from Ethereum. So the only place X28 gets created is on Ethereum. So if there's a million supply that's created on Ethereum, and then 200,000 of that is in Blast, for example, and 100,000 is in Binance Smart Chain, that all comes from Ethereum. So it's not like on all chains that is creation of supply. So if somebody buys it up, or a whale just buys it up on one of the chains, that arbitrage boss will automatically bridge it across layer 0, buy it up everywhere to get the price equal to whatever happens on that chain. And then all of the liquidity pools will probably burn all of its fees. So you might have 8 or 18 different pools where all of the X28 that it gets in fees are burned, and all of the native coin it gets from fees just used to buy and burn X28. That's still being worked out. There's not just going to be one liquidity pool feeding the buy and burn and getting burned. It could be like 20.
20 on Ethereum?
No, on all the chains, because every chain will have its own main liquidity pool.
Is that buy and burn decentralized? 100% buy and burn? Is it?
That's going to be interesting. There might be a way to do it. We're still kind of working through that, but that's the design intention.
Nice.
Yeah.
When's this going to be released fully, or can we actually ask more questions and get it out of here? How does this work?
Okay, so if you look at, I'll give hints. If you look at the supply on like Mike Dean's, for example, Dune Analytics dashboard, if you wanted to make something hyper deflationary, when would be the best time to launch it? Would it be when inflation is coming out? Would it be when inflation stops coming out? Because this is the silver bullet in the ecosystem. It will guaranteed make it hyper deflationary. Even if there's still inflation, it will make it hyper deflationary. And then it will also create a scenario where if mining kickstarts again on TitanX, people can use those miners to get into the X28 auction. So people might just start miners to enter the X28 auction. There's also protections built in that, because you don't want people to enter the X28 auction way cheaper because they start miners that are like 50% less than on market. So there are protections against that. It's gonna be sick.
Oh my, yeah, I wasn't expecting all that. Just those three basics of being able to pull in the miners. I didn't see that coming. That is real.
People are gonna love
that. It's got me, to use your one, turbo bullish, just on the ecosystem. Whenever the bull run starts to kick in, if that supply of TitanX can start to get absolutely annihilated, it's going to get, there could be absolute fireworks here. What?
If I'm holding X28, I'm still subject to the Titan X buy and burn, so I have that incentive. Is that right? Because
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm not sure I got that.
If I use my Titan X and I have X28, because it's the liquidity is Titan X, the Titan X buy and burn is going to help this price go up too. Is that the plan?
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to share that yet.
Yeah.
But this is a lot of alpha already, but just
it really is. And I'm gonna so whenever you want to drop any alpha, you've got to come on the weekly blaze and do it. You got to keep the people in here excited. I don't know. Are you planning to go back streaming on your own channel again, or what's your plans for that?
It's kind of interesting. I like these community things. It's just fun. I like talking to people when you're on alone. It's like you get more interesting questions, etc., etc. So I prefer these like community streams. Well, probably I'll probably stream alone as well.
You're welcome to come back on here again. Obviously, drop these alpha bombs. I think there's a few questions in the chat. Justin, in the background there, have you got a few questions from the chat? If the bull run peaks in November 2024, won't it cause Titan X price to drop massively, regardless of ban burdens and other protocols?
Yeah, of course. And a bad market kills everything. Even Ethereum went down 80% during a bear market. Even Bitcoin goes down 95%. So a bad market will kill everything. But November 2024, like, come on, dude, be a little bit more bullish. Like, it's just do the timing analysis on how long an average bull market lasts from bottom to top, and it just happens to be mysteriously the same timing every time. So timing matters more than price. Instead of having price targets, you just have timing targets. Obviously, I'm not going to share the timing targets publicly, otherwise everybody will have a sell date, which sucks for game theory. So let people figure that out on their own. But just go to the Bitcoin chart, look at from bottom of a cycle to top of a cycle, what is the time in between, and then do that for 2017, do that for 2013, and you'll see it's eerily similar. Like, only difference is like a month, maybe 2 weeks. And this 4-year cycle has been playing out perfectly. Like, we launched Titan X around the bottom of the bear market. It's perfect. And I called the bear market bottom on the date 2 months in advance. I did it publicly on YouTube. Purely timing analysis. I'm not some kind of market genius. But to people that don't understand timing analysis, you look like a genius. But it's actually relatively simple, timing analysis. The biggest curse people have is this time is different. Anytime you hear this time is different, be like, that dude's stupid. I'm not listening to him anymore. Because it's never been different. And it's playing out the exact same way. Yeah.
So I'm just checking back in the chat to see if there are other questions. There's not really not anybody asking anything that we haven't actually covered so far, really. Okay. Yeah, there's another one, Jake. We'll move on a bit because we'll get you back on to talk about X28 when there's more. There's enough alpha there for everybody to go and start playing around with. But yes, there's you mentioned a buy and burn protocol. Any build on Titan X protocols will get a buy and burn built on top of them. What is that the shadow protocol? What's going on with that? Is there have you any information for us as project builders? That's a massive one for us.
Yes, so that's something separate from X28. It will also be built on top of X28, but I don't want to share more on that yet. Just know you will need to have a Titan X, your protocol pool. So, like, for example, Titan X Blaze, Titan X Hyper, Titan X Dragon X, Titan X Helios, Titan X. I don't want to leave anybody out. Okay. Yeah, Titan X Blaze, Titan X Hyper, Titan X Helios, Dragon X, etc., etc. Everything that has a Titan X liquidity pool should be able to have it built on top. And it's going to be one thing. So it's not going to be individual for each. It's going to be one massive protocol that will burn them. Yeah. Buy and burn them. Very, very, very big difference. It's not just burn them.
You got a release target for the Shadow and the X28. Is that a target, or is that still hush right now?
It is. That one is being built. For X28, we do have a release target, but I'm not going to publicly say it because it kind of needs to be unpredictable. But I gave some hints so people can start like conspiracy theoristing it. It's always fun to see people guess. But just guess, how would you make something hyper deflationary? That's the big question to ask. And when would you time it? Because like even between now, we still have a bunch of protocols coming out. Like a bunch of protocols. So it's not like everything relies on X28, not at all. Like it's doing just fine without. But that's going to be the thing that completely ushers in hyperinflationary with an extra buy and burn. That is going to give users an extremely good deal, so they're forced to participate. And it's going to take TitanX omni-chain and will allow build on TitanX to exist on pretty much all compatible chains that support layer 0.
Somebody asking in the chat, do you still have the mastermind? The mastermind, it's not, no, it doesn't really go anymore. There's a bunch of us still chat in there, but it's not a thing. You're far better off coming on, listen to what's going on in the weekly Blaze and participating here. We'll keep you up to speed with everything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, the mastermind, we still do like weekly calls. But other than that, it's pretty much just been a hangout. A hangout with the boys, basically, is what it's become. Because after I started building TitanX, I shut down the mastermind. Everybody that's in, we're still kind of doing mastermind stuff. But I took no new members and I just started building TitanX because it's better and it's more scalable.
All right, here. Well, what about this? Well, when you get into crypto and you were creating the mastermind, did you always know you were going to build something? Or did that come about? You always knew? Okay.
I always knew. Yeah.
How long have you wanted to build? How has it been? Years?
5 years. Like I've always had this idea, but the thing is, like anybody that has ever started a business, you know that marketing and distribution is the biggest thing. So you need an audience. You need to have people that trust you. The only way to get people to trust you is to have, nowadays in the digital age, a bunch of content out there so people can consume it, and they need to see you for a long period of time, because anybody can just come, create content for a month, and then just disappear and steal all your money. So you need to be around for like a year and a half, 2 years. And that was kind of the goal. I didn't know what I was going to build.
Yeah.
That only came towards the end, but I always knew I wanted to build something.
Yeah, I mean, we were this. I mean, well, not I can't speak for it, but I was the same. I didn't see myself. Obviously, I'm an entrepreneur, like take on challenges and see things and get involved. But whenever I joined the mastermind, I was just happy being an investor in projects and coins that I like. But I'm absolutely loving building and being. I'm just loving taking control of the things that I'm really invested in. That's the main focus for me. And you learn a lot. You do kind of tend to you can't keep up with everything else that's going on. You spend so much time at your screen, engaging with your own community, looking after your own project. You kind of do not the wider, the wider goings on, the regular ups and downs you can keep track of, but the day-to-day crap that's going on out there and other projects, and you maybe miss out on opportunities of investing. But it's nice just to be able to focus and focus on one thing where you can actually make a bit of a difference. I think that's his 6th nicotine gum there in the stream. He's wired to the moon now.
Yep.
I hear there's some health benefits. Are you doing that for health benefits or just to keep focused?
Well, to be honest, I'm addicted. That's the biggest issue. But the thing is, it helps me, like, it makes my thoughts clear. Yeah. I just like it. It's been like, I remember a mastermind I joined. He talked about this idea of totems. Like, he would have certain things on his desk, or would do certain gestures every time he would start work. And whenever he would do that gesture, he would want to work. And for me, it's kind of been nicotine. Like, whenever I start like a work block, or just overdose nicotine, basically. But I don't do that much. Like, I do 2 milligram gums. Sometimes I do the 1 milligram spray. Maybe I do 12 milligrams a day on a good day. Sometimes I overdose and do like 30. And those are bad days. Like, when you overdose, you get lightheaded. But like 12 milligrams is totally fine, especially if you work like 12 plus hours a day. Yeah. But I can stop whenever. I can stop for weeks on end. I just like saying addicted because it sounds funny, but it definitely helps me work.
Yeah, so see what you were saying before there about the built-in trust, and that's part of the reason why we wanted to build this weekly Blaze show. Why we wanted to we again saw a little bit of an opportunity. There wasn't many people streaming, there wasn't many people talking. A lot of people started to take a back seat and not want to put their face out in front of people. We just thought, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to try and do it right. We want to try and create, add to the community, but more importantly, get out there where you're there all the time for people to ask questions. 6 months down the line, when people come in, they look at TitanX, they'll see the Blaze, they'll see the weekly Blaze, they'll see the shit ton of content that we've created. They'll be able to go back and look at this conversations with the likes of Mike Dean, Maxim Broadcast, all that stuff will all be there, and that's, it's important to just build that trust and add to the community that way. So that's part of the reason why we've got this weekly Blaze, obviously to drop alpha as much as we can, but just to show that we're here out in front and, you know, you're not hiding in the background.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think the best take I've heard on this is because when you start making content, when you build in a Titan community, you'll have a built-in community that will go and watch you. But if you're a nobody and you just start creating content without being linked to anything, you usually don't get any views. Maybe you get like 10, 12 per video. And then the best way I've ever heard this phrased is you're basically creating a binge bank for when you blow up. So that you blow up out of nowhere, people look up your name, and all of a sudden they see like hundreds of videos they can watch, and you instantly build trust. So it is definitely a long-term play. Because whenever you hear somebody's name and you look them up and they have no interviews, no podcasts, you can't really find them. They have no Twitter where they've been tweeting for years or whatever. Then you're like, I'm not sure about you. But if you have like hours of videos you can watch, you're like, smart dudes, I like them. It's more than 99.9% of crypto. That level of trust shoots through the roof.
Yeah, it's nice having the team behind me as well that we can do that. You know, and they can get everything set up, get the guest booked, and I can just bounce on and chat. It's a real nice asset to have. You know that we've got the eight-man team. So look, what's your opinion of how Blaze has been performing? You know, as a guy that's built an ecosystem that looks for people to build on his layer. You know, what's your thoughts on what we've built and how it's performing?
When it comes to team content and marketing, you guys are top notch. Like the marketing is great, team's great. It doesn't burn Titan. That's one of the things I would add. Like at least 8% somewhere would have been nice, because everything that enters. So what happens at Blaze is 20% of the Ethereum that enters the protocol buys Titan first, and then buys and burns Blaze with it to the liquidity pool. Any Titan that goes into the liquidity pool can instantly be taken. Like for example, in the beginning there was 230 billion Titan X locked in liquidity pool. I was like 146. So that's one thing I would change. But other than that, it's been good. Audits were good. Marketing is great. Team is great. Community seems to enjoy it. Branding is great. And then you guys are building other stuff like Inferno. That's going to be interesting because I think it burns 8% of Titan X. And then the rest buys Blaze, buys and burns Inferno, like through the pools. That's interesting. Yeah, I like it.
We've got an amazing. We'll go into it now, just like your shadow protocol. And I've actually talked to you about this one, and it's a protocol we're going to do right after built on Titan X. It's going to be. Behave yourself. That is, hey guys. Just.
Yeah,
I mean, this is interesting.
Last time we talked, like together. So.
Yeah.
So you're going to build other stuff on top of the Titan X ecosystem stuff.
Yeah, we're
outside. Is it Inferno or outside of?
It's
Inferno?
Outside. It's the next project after Inferno, and you gave this idea, which was a seed, when we talked like a few weeks ago, and you know what it was.
Nice.
I think. Yeah, something like that.
I think I know what it is. Nice. I mean,
so look,
this is another interesting thing I've seen is like builders tend to keep building. So a lot of people have this conception where people come in, they build one thing, and they're just going to disappear. But that's not the case. Once you kind of get this building bug, you want to keep building more stuff, and you want to make your stuff more interesting and better. And you've been through the process, you've learned how to build, which is a hard thing in and of itself. So you're like, I want to put the skill to work. And of course, you make money throughout the process, etc., etc. Like builders tend to keep building, like a lot of them. Like even the Dragon X team, like Titan Farms, they're going to come out with just like liquidity incentive thing for all the Titan X ecosystem pairs. Like a lot of builders tend to keep building. Helios also still building. Me also still building. So it's interesting, man. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
it's refining and improving the ideas, and so and like you said, once you know how to do it, it's really, really easy. Because I did a lot in Web 2. I mean, just like you, a lot of marketing in Web 2, and I never really planned to do Web 3, but now in hindsight, last 8 months with all the boys, I know how to do audits with all the best people, and through the process, we found some really, really quality people. So, yeah,
exactly. You have the team, you have the connections, you know the process, you've been through audits. Like you have this skill now. Exactly. Yeah. It's contagious.
You see our communities chirping in there. Blaze is making crypto fun again, bringing back the ETH divs. You know, obviously we could have burnt some Titan X, but it was important for us at that time when we were building that a big part of our focus was to get the Ethereum page really, really working again back within the ecosystem. You know, and with Inferno coming out with game, we've went back there. We've chose that we're going to make sure that we're burning Titan X within Inferno. Have you had a look at the Inferno white paper yet? We've got 8% burning Titan X. And then, Steve, do you want to give a quick pitch of what Inferno is for anybody that's here watching the stream today?
Wait, first, for Inferno, what is important to note is it's launching soon.
Yeah,
it's not something off into the future.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You know, the countdown. Justin, can you bring have you got the landing page that you can share there quickly? The countdown is already on. You know, we've launched Blaze. What are we in Blaze now? Day 23, something like that. And with the countdown for Inferno launching is less than. That's not the holding page. You goat. Inferno.win. Inferno.win. Yeah, just as soon as Blaze launched, we were right on. We had a lot of this stuff already organized. Kind of all the ideas were set. It was just to, get the builders built or get the devs working on it, get the auditors lined up, and it's launching in less than 6 days. Next Friday, this thing is ready to launch. So this is part of the thing that's awesome within the ecosystem now. Is that we're getting close to day 280. There's fireworks there. We've got this project. We've got another one lined up. We've got Pulsar, Ouroboros. We've got so many, X28, Shadow Protocol. Woo-hoo-hoo! It all kicks off with Inferno next week. Yeah, so look, 5 hours.
I have a question. Is there any reason you're not doing day 280 or day 281 or 282 for launch?
Steve?
To be
honest,
trying to get it out as soon as possible because we've got another one to work on right after, and so it's just got to get this into our belt and move on. It's kind of like
built,
that.
Built, it's ready, it's audited. We just didn't want to wait. We wanted to create a little bit more excitement and variation before day 280. There's going to be more mint cycles come after. It's like everything that we're launching. You know what it is? We build it. It'll be fully decentralized. Throw it out. And let's see what the community does with it. I think it just adds a little bit of excitement before day 280. If people are deciding what they want to do, they may be able to make a move with their Titan X before day 280 hits. So yeah, the guys had a lot of discussion about that before we actually decided to go ahead and launch it as well.
I mean, it makes if the goal is to get in as much Titan X as possible, you would want to launch it on a period where there is as much Titan X as possible out there. So you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, and there's no benefit of doing it a week earlier. No, because it's like 11 trillion more that could potentially enter Inferno.
Yeah, but that's it. But there's a mint cycle going to be kicking off like the days of 280 anyway. Another one. It's only going to be a week. It's only going to be a week later. So yeah, it was a toss up between go for it or not, and we wanted to get it out. Steve, do you want to give a quick overview for people that are new, haven't checked out?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll do it in 30 seconds. It's a meme coin on steroids with a 90% buy and burn, and the meme is Inferno the bull. So it's a fun one, and that's really it. It's a 90% buy and burn, and the rest. It's 0% to us. 8% of Titan X is burned. 2% buys of the Titan X buys Blaze for another project in the future that we're going to do on Pulse Chain. So it's a gift to the community, and it's a fun meme with lots of cool things that you can do with a bull as the mascot. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Bad Sports is already having you are as well having a great time creating all these memes. We've got so many meme images to start pumping out after this thing gets launched. So yeah, it's launching next Friday. 8 weekly mint cycles each. Although it's a weekly mint cycle, they can only participate for 24 hours. So next Friday we kick off. You have 24 hours to mint your Inferno tokens, and then it's kind of locked down for another 6 days. And then the following Friday, it all kicks off again for another 24-hour mint period. Within that time, within that first week, Jake, as well, day 280 is going to happen, and there's going to be absolute mayhem, possibly within the ecosystem. So it's going to be exciting no matter what happens. we're doing a deep dive on that during the week. We've got streams lined up this week with the Verse, Mike Dean, and I can't think of somebody else. We've got streams again all week. If you're following the channel, this week we'll be discussing going a couple of deep dives into Inferno and just building up to the launch of it next Friday. If anybody watching wants to get more up to speed with what's going on with Blaze, they can watch our stream that we did with Maxim Broadcast last week. So yeah, we've got a lot of great content here, and next week's going to be no different.
Nice. Let me do the quick fire questions to Jake. Got 5 or 7 questions.
He looked 2 seconds. He looked like he was going to say something there.
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
I mean, the second mint cycle argument, we all know the first mint cycle is the biggest. I would personally do even day 280, because then you have because the issue you might create is you bump up the Titan X price before, which makes the dollar value of day 280 way bigger, makes it harder to handle. And there's no benefit to doing it a week earlier. Like, the protocol doesn't lie on that week. Everything's fine. You get more Titan X that can participate. And the first mint cycle is always the biggest mint cycle. Because it's launch. Launch is always the biggest.
There's somebody saying, fuck no, we ain't waiting. Then the next person, I agree with Jake. So there you go. The toss up there. The community. I don't know, guys. You want to put something back a week? Hell no.
What's the benefit? It's not like you're getting anything out of waiting, getting anything out of doing it 7 days earlier. In fact, you get less because there's less Titan X on market. But that's just me.
Yeah, but there's still a shitload of Titan X in people's hands right at this minute in time.
Yeah, but you would have a lot more. Anyway, you guys can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's it.
Optimal game theory would be day 280.
Which is going to be there week 2 as well. There's Chiz. Push it back a week. Hell no, Chiz. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Steve, I think Steve had questions. You wanted to quick fire a little bit?
I didn't want you to leave just before I did these quick fire questions, and then we can talk about something else. But it's kind of fun just to hear what you will say. And it's just like a 1-word answer or a couple of words, and some are crypto, some about you. But BTC price, top of the bull run next year, let's say. What's your prediction?
Oh, god damn it! Price prediction. I need to pull up the charts. I haven't done this in a while. But the bull market should top around mid next year. Price target, I don't know. I can't put a price target on it.
Yeah, as a quick
I need to do the chart for like a good hour. Yeah.
As a quick fire question, I literally have no idea what that's going to be. 350k, Steve.
Yeah.
Next.
Favorite coin outside the Titan X ecosystem?
Ethereum.
Ethereum, okay. What's your favorite band?
Answer?
What was it?
Favorite band, music?
Oh, that's a good question. Do I have a favorite band? I like listening to Russ. I like Russ rap music. It's not a band, it's just one dude, but I like Russ.
Oh, nice. Your most used app?
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter for sure. And YouTube. Twitter and YouTube. I would say Twitter is fire, probably.
Oh, yeah. First job?
First student job was selling door-to-door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was selling stuff for Google door-to-door. Like Google Maps stuff.
Oh, nice. Favorite food? I got a couple more. Favorite food was?
Oh, steak. Steak and ice cream. Hell yeah.
What's your life motto? Is your life motto biggest inspiration? That's the last one. What's this?
Biggest life motto, it is what it is. Best book reality transurfing.
Oh yeah, you talked about that.
Yep. Yeah. But it is what it is applies to everything. You lose a leg, it is what it is. You lose money, it is what it is. You make a bunch of money, it is what it is. You build something cool, it is what it is. It is what it is.
I do kind of like that one, and think, yeah, it's a good way to take it as an entrepreneur. You know, it's an important one. You know, it's all right. You make a mistake, fuck it. It is what it is. On to the next thing. Just keep on moving. See, sorry, Steve, but just to chime in, I knew when you mentioned steak, I first thought was Mike Dean, and he's come in. He's in the comments there saying steak with a couple of exclamation marks. He loves his steak dinners as well. Any more,
Oh,
Steve?
steak is amazing.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I've got loads of these, but like, let's just answer those ones. So, yeah, that. Curious, your favorite. Do you have a role model?
Ooh. The most obvious answer is Elon Musk. Second obvious answer is Alex Ramosi. Less obvious answer would probably be Charlie Munger.
Oh yeah.
I don't study him a lot, but Charlie Munger is amazing, especially if you listen to his quotes on like the Berkshire and Hathaway meetings. Life advice, fucking amazing.
Wow,
but the two most obvious ones are Alex Ramosi, and the biggest one is Elon Musk. Yeah.
You like Elon Musk? Do you own Tesla stock?
No, I actually don't. I don't have any stocks.
Steve buys stocks in Solana, so I said,
who cares about stocks? You have crypto.
He shouldn't be allowed back on here ever again.
Good. I appreciate that, Jake.
Just on that, two really basic life, life things that I use all the time is do it now. A lot of people fanny around. You want to do something, just fucking do it. And another one is don't give a shit. Yeah, don't give a shit or wait a week. Yeah, don't give a shit. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. Just fucking do you. And if you've got an idea or whatever it is you want to do, just fucking do it.
Yeah. And that is what it is. It's kind of deep because like 80-20. Don't just be perfectionist. Just get it done and let it be. So
I mean, it is what it is. Could be anything. Because like it also applies to the all-day transfer thing. Like whenever you make a bunch of money, like I became a millionaire long before TitanX was ever launched. Like I think 2 years before. 2 years and a half before. And it is what it is. You think it's just like this big event in your head, but it's just a number on a screen. Same apartment, same food. You go to the same restaurant, you watch the same movies. Like it's all the same stuff. The only thing you get is freedom to do whatever the hell you want to do. That's probably the biggest thing. Because if you have $1 million and you're not a retard, you won't lose it. If you make $1 million from meme coins, you bet your ass you lose it. So you better realize the profit. But if it's like realized $1 million, well, in a very good asset like Ethereum or TitanX, even when it's hyperdeflationary, like that's real money. Meme coin is not real money.
Yeah.
And then if you invest that correctly and you play the cycles correctly, like $1 million could make you worth 9 figures, like 100 million plus in like 12, 15 years if you're not stupid. Like, I think one of the best piece of advice I got on that was you only need to get rich once. That was a really good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that's right. Because once you have the money, it's easy to make more because you can even get the passive income. You can do the passive investments. And I hear people say it's easier to get from 1 billion to 10 million than 100K to a million. It's a little bit harder to get from $1 to 100,000.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I remember Warren Buffett saying that your first 100 grand is the hardest, and it's so goddamn true. Because you're learning all the skills, You're still new to money. You don't know what the hell investing is. You don't know what to look for. You don't know how business works. Like, how do you even get clients? You don't know what outbound is or DM or cold calling or sales calls. You don't understand any of that. Yeah, that was really good advice. And then once you kind of hit that 100 grand and you understand that quote, you're like, okay. Because once you hit 100 grand, $1 million, etc., it's different strategies. Like, yeah.
Do you know what?
Learning from the right people.
Looking back, one thing that I really loved, there's been times that you've really pissed me off as well, Jake. But here's one that I really fucking loved. Okay, see, when people used to come out and say, "This motherfucker's in my DMs," I actually made a joke and put it into the Pulse Wars game, in my DMs. Okay, I had a lot of respect for you. I'm a bit older than you, but I always had a lot of respect for the fucking hustle. You're talking about door-to-door sales. Anybody that cuts their teeth in door-to-door sales, real sales jobs, that's real fucking learning, real good experience. And I love the fact that you were, because people in crypto, they've got a different idea of how business works. And a lot of people in crypto are here to make money, and they haven't made money elsewhere in the old-fashioned ways. In the old-fashioned ways, it's fucking banging doors, hitting people up one-to-one conversations. And you got a lot of flack. You might not even have seen it, but people just, talking about you, saying this motherfucker's in my DMs trying to sell me shit in his mastermind. And I always, my first thought was always, you know what? Fair fucking play to the guy. That's how you fucking do it. That's how you make things happen. So yes, I just wanted, you were talking about that stuff, and I wanted to throw that in there. It's important to fucking that you have to get out there and fucking do shit your own way. It's really important.
Yeah, 100%. Like I remember, because when you first start in business, you have no idea how to market or get clients. You think, oh, these businesses, they just exist and get clients. They don't know they have 200, 300 person sales teams, cold calling, knocking doors, sending LinkedIn DMs, Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, cold emails, automation software, CRM, Salesforce. You don't know any of that. You're just like, this business exists and it magically makes money. And that's a very newbie way of looking at the world. And like these numbers on outbound, like this might be interesting. If you're building a business, outbound is absolutely incredible. So it wasn't me sending messages. It was me sending messages for a good week. And then I hired VAs and had like a 3-person sales team managing inboxes on Instagram, Twitter, etc. They were sending messages. I was doing the calls. And that's kind of how you build a business. You have to hit, and so like Alex Ramosi has this rule of 100. If you want to grow something, you need to do at least 100 of something a day. Either 100 cold DMs, 100 cold calls, 100 cold emails, 100 pieces of content a week, etc., etc. Just volume. He has a really good saying. It's called volume negates luck. And that's why I post so much on Twitter as well. Because it's really good marketing. It's quick marketing. Like you can spend 2 seconds writing a tweet and it gets seen by 5, sometimes 50,000 people. Crypto native people. Like this is a crazy story. Like this changed how I looked at Twitter. I remember in the mastermind, I didn't reach out to this guy. He was just watching my live streams. I hopped on a call with him. And I was super surprised because his Twitter profile, I went to his Twitter profile. He had like some weird name, some sports team name or whatever. No bio. His bio was a dot. Black profile picture, no banner, no tweets. And I was like, this probably like, I don't know, fucking, he wants to sell me something. I don't know. I had a weird feeling. I hopped on the call. The dude was making 30 grand a day liquidity providing. He was making $1 million a month. Dude was worth over $20 million. He ended up paying for the mastermind just to say thank you for my videos, and he never did anything. Never one message, never even joined the damn group. He was just like, yeah, I enjoy your content. He's like a little gift. And at that point, it changed because like that one person that you think is a nobody on Twitter could be some fucking 9-figure dude. So that's why I never disrespect anybody on Twitter anymore, because that taught me a valuable lesson of like a Twitter profile does not indicate what type of person it is. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So look, we're gonna wrap it up here. Is there any more questions in the chat, Justin, that you want answered? I see AJ Rip City Hacks. Jake was nice to me. I had surgery and couldn't afford his course, but he didn't put shit on me. Thanks, Jake. There's for every shit talker, there's somebody that'll be there to say something nice as well. As I said, we've had our ups and downs where we've agreed on things, disagreed on things, but the respect is always there. The respect for the hustle, the respect for what you're trying to do. It's always there. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. We're here building, and we'll do our things our way, and you'll continue, no doubt, to do things your way. So we're going to wrap it up here shortly. Is there anything you want to touch on, or anything you want to say as kind of final remarks, anything like that, Jake?
Not financial advice, but day 280 could be a really good day to look at, because there's 2 ways it could go, and if it goes one way, you might be able to get a really good deal. Like if some people are just like, I hate money, hey, then there's other people that like money, that might be a good thing.
Who the fuck hates money?
A lot of people, apparently.
Yeah,
because come on, like this is insane. Like the Titan market cap is $15 million, and all the buy and burns combined, it's like $25 million. You don't need to be a genius to figure out that math. And also, an interesting thing about liquidity pools is if there's only 20K on the sell side, so like 20K of Titan X, you only need 200K to push the price up 4x. You only need 400K to push the price up 16x. So liquidity, it's not market cap that you're buying the liquidity pool, and that works in the square root. So these things could move incredibly quickly and leave you behind. And that's why, like the best lesson I ever learned in crypto was there's only a certain number of days in crypto where you make all the money. There's no such thing as trading in and out, because crypto moves sideways, it goes up and down, and then it has a day where it just does 200% in like 3 to 4 days. And if you're out of the market on those days, at the end of the year, you've just lost money, even though your asset moves up 7, 8x. So you just need to be in the market. It's that simple.
So there you go. Yeah, there you go, folks. Day 280. Opportunity or not? You know, we said at the start of the stream, do we giga pump? Do we giga dump? Who knows? There's been some alpha dropped here today, and we'll find out soon enough. So yeah, look, as we're wrapping it up here, Jake, thanks very much for coming on the show. You're welcome to come on. You know, in the future, we're going to have plenty of things happening within the TitanX ecosystem, within our own Blaze ecosystem. A lot of things going on. So if you have any alpha you want to drop, please feel free to give us a shout and come on here again, and we'll drop it. The audience got some real freaking bombs there. There was a few things that were said there today already that were totally unexpected by me, and I'm sure the rest of the community. So yeah, you're welcome to come back on anytime, man. Thanks for coming on.
I mean, I love doing the streams, man. If anybody in the community wants to do a stream, just let me know.
Awesome. Well, look, we'll wrap it up there, folks. Thanks very much for everybody tuning in. If you haven't liked the video, give us a wee like there, and make sure to subscribe. We need those likes and subscribes to get the channel pumping. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Day 280 is fast approaching. Inferno is fast approaching. Tune in on Tuesday when we're speaking to Mike Dean live. He's doing a deep dive into Inferno, and everybody stay safe out there. And thanks for watching. Only